Hello, my friend. Have you been looking forward to learn how to score the harmony of a song? You do not know how to identify parts or harmonies in music. Probably you do not know how to read musical sheets, or you cannot just lay your hands on the musical sheet of a certain song you want to score. Well, there are different ways to do things, right? There are different routes to a certain destination. And I, Abakari, I'm going to be teaching you some simple tips that would help you or aid you identify or score the harmony of a song, irrespective of the harmony structure that is used. Okay? We will learn so much in a short while, only if you watch till the end. Harmony has become a household name in contemporary music. All right, every song you listen to on the radio, you watch on your TV set, you see in the theater or in a hall where music is being performed, you you will notice that they cannot do without harmony. Why? Because harmonies bring out the beauty of the music. Gone are those days where we just do the monophonic kind of singing. All right, the world of music has evolved, and as a result, so many things have changed. So because so many people do not have the abilities or do not know or lack the technical know-how of how harmonies are created or how they are structured, it has posed itself as a major challenge to certain persons, especially rookies. Okay, so I'm going to be explaining that to you. I'm going to give you ways to go about it. First of all, what is harmony? Harmonies are just, notes that are stacked above and below the melody line of a song. Harmonies are notes that are played simultaneously. All right. Take for instance, you have your keyboard, you have your first note, do, mi, so. Right. Do is an independent note. Mi is an independent note. So is an independent note. You play them independently, but when they are played together, it's called chords, and that's the kind of structure that harmonies take, right? So we have different kinds of harmony. We have um, the thirds, which is one of the most commonly used. We have the source harmony. We have the octave harmony. How do I identify the harmony of a song? I'm going to say this quickly before I go over to the board. I'm going to give you two factors to use in identifying the harmony of a song. First of all, you get your melody line. And second of all, you need to learn how to memorize intervals. These two things, if you know them, they would help you score or create harmonies even without a musical sheet. What is the melody line of the song? The melody line of a song is that part of the song that you can sing without being taught. It is the part of the song that precedes the harmony. It is the main song itself that can stand or make sense on its own, even when it is not having any accompaniment. All right. How do I study intervals? How do I get intervals? How do I know intervals? Intervals is just the distance between two notes. Now, this may not really make sense to you if you do not have any knowledge on musical theory, right? But for those that do have knowledge on musical theories, intervals are just the distance between two pitches. You have your do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? The distance between your do and your re is an interval. Distance between your do and your mi is an interval. Distance between your do and your so. So you need to memorize, the space, the distance between these two, right? When you're able to know this, trust me, singing harmonies will not be an issue. Let's assume this is my key. Do, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re, do, mi, so, do. Now, I've been able to memorize the distance between these four notes, right? So if I'm listening to a song and I'm trying to get the harmony of that song, I just need to get my melody line. Once I have my melody line and I know the first note of that melody line, I can create my harmonies. Let's go over to the board where I will be explaining this in detail. And okay, guys, so this is what I have. Right. So, like I said, we have many different kinds of harmonies, but we cannot take them all in a swing. So I'm just going to treat two, which is the third and the octave harmony. These are the most commonly used, even the biggest of names. All right, in the music industry, they use this harmony because it doesn't distract and it is easy to learn. Okay, first of all, the octave harmony is let's say we're using the SAT formula. soprano, alto, tenor, right? Um, the octave harmony goes like this. Soprano and altos will be on a higher octave, while tenors will be on a lower octave. But in this case, they are all singing unison. They are singing the same thing, no harmony. The difference is they are doing it on different octaves, right? Tenors will be here, sopranos will be here. That sopranos and alto will be on a higher octave. So, for instance, this song is done on the key of D flat, do, 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 right? Tenors will do, 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 do. Every praise is to our God, right? Then sopranos and altos, do, every praise is to our God. Tenors, do, every praise is to our God. Sopranos and alto, every praise is to our God, right? They're singing the same thing on different octaves. Now to the main one, which is the third. The third is also a very very common harmony. It is very simple as well, right? It is very very it has an awesome effect to your singing, to the melody line of the song, right? So the third is just a 1-3-5 movement, right? It's just a from your one, you move a third, and you move a fifth. Do, mi, so. 1-3-5. Right? Now, let me take, for instance, a song. Let me get my key. Do, Jehovah, you are the most high. A very popular song. Right? Jehovah, you are the most high. Now, I told you before that to get the harmony of a song, you must first of all get the melody line of that song. And you must know how intervals, you must have a pitch reference to how intervals relate to themselves. Intervals, the distance between two pitches or two different notes. Okay, so the song, do, Jehovah. So I'm trying to get my melody line. The first notes, Jehovah, do, re, mi, re, do. Let me see. Mi, re, do, Jehovah, correct. Mi, re, do. That's the melody line. The melody line is beginning on a mi. And I told you that at third, the harmony structure for third is the 1-3-5. Do, mi, so. Now, our melody line is now beginning on a mi, which is this, right? So, to get my first harmony, I'm going to move 3 notes ahead, which is my fifth from here. 3. Remember, on the structure, we have 1-3-5. Now, the melody line is beginning on a 3. Now, my first harmony should go to a fifth, right? So from 3, 1, 3, 4, 5. Mi, fa, so. So I'm going to get my first harmony from there. So, so, fa, mi, Jehovah. Remember the melody line. Mi, re, do, Jehovah. Then you move a fifth from the third, which is your mi, fa, sol, 3, 4, 5. Jehovah, you are the most high. Right? Then to get the final harmony, I'm going to move 3 down, 3, 2, 1. Remember, our structure is 1-3-5. Our melody began on a 3, so our harmonies will build on 1 and 5. Now we've had the fifth harmony, the fifth note as our first harmony. Then we will now move from the third, which began the melody, 3, 2, 1, do, to get our second harmony. Do, Jehovah, do, tila, Jehovah, you are the most high. You get it? It's very simple. Okay. The melody structure for the third is the one harmony structure for third harmonies is the 1-3-5. Now, for this particular example I'm giving, the melody began on a mi, which is the third. Let's look at this. The structure is the 1-3-5. Now, the melody of that song began on this. So the harmonies were built on this and this. I counted the 3, 1, 2, 3 to my fifth, then, which is my first harmony. Then from here again, I counted 3, 3, 2, 1 to the first note to of the structure 135 to get my second harmony. So the melody began from here, and I built my harmony above and below this melody. You get it now? So, however, this is used is dependent on where the melody line begins from. I want to believe you get that. So, let me use this song on the board to give another illustration. Okay, so this song now that I have on the board is Every Praise by Ezekiel Walker. So, if you look carefully, the melody line of the song began on a do. Do, compared to the other example I gave where the melody line began on a mi, right? Now, because this one began on a do, which is this, let's go back to this example. Now, this song began on a do, the first note, so harmonies will be built above. But there's a way you can invert it. This saw will come down. But I'm not teaching inversions now. When I teach inversions, you will understand. Now, because my melody line began on this, my harmonies will be built above 1, 2. The structure is 1, 3, 5. Right? Now, the melody line is already occupying the 1. So my melody line, my harmonies will be built above the 1, which will now be 3 and 5. For instance, the song Every Praise on the key of D flat, right? Do. It goes do 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 so ti do 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 so ti do 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 re 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 mi mi re do. Every praise is to our God. Every word of worship with one accord. Every praise is to our God. Right? So now this is how I wrote out the harmonies. This you have here is what is written above here. Just the melody line. Then the next part, like I told you. Now we have our do melody line occupying the first note. Do. Remember the structure is 1, 3, 5. Now to build our first harmony, we're going to count up to 3. From the do, 1, 2, 3. Mi, 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 mi. Then the harmony will now begin from there. Mi, mi, mi. Ti, re, mi, mi. Okay? Every praise is to our God. Remember, the melody line is every praise is to our God. Every praise is to our God. The first harmony, do mi, every praise is to our God. Me. Then, having gotten that, you now count a fifth from the do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is your so, which will now be the second harmony. So every praise is to our God. Every word of worship with one accord. Right? So that is how the thirds work. So remember the structure of the thirds. 1, 3, 5. If the melody is beginning on the 1, as you're seeing there, which is this, your harmonies will be built above it with your third and your fifth. Now, pardon me, if the melody is beginning on the third, me, your harmonies will be built below and above it. Your harmonies will take do and so. Okay? Remember, if the harmony is built, if the melody starts on the 1, which is your do, the harmonies will be built above it with your third and your fifth. Sorry, your third and your fifth. Mi, so, do, mi, so. Do is the melody, mi, so, the two harmonies. But if the melody begins on a third, which is your mi, harmonies will be built above and below it. All right, the first harmony will be on your fifth, so. Then the second harmony will be on the 1, do. Okay, but if the harmony begins on a so, harmonies can be built above or below it. All right. You can have your 3 and 1, or you can have your 3 and 8, which is the higher do. All right. Instead of doing the lower do octave, which is the 1, you take the 1 higher to an 8. The 8 is just a repetition of the 1. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In the diatonic scale, there are just 7 notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. The next do is a repetition of the first do you sang. So if your melody begin on the right, you can build your harmonies on this 3 and 1, or you can do 3 and you move the 1 to the highest octave, which is the 8. I hope this was clear. Okay. Okay, so like you can see with this song here, like I earlier said, the melody line now began on a 1, which is the do, the first harmony on a third, and the second harmony on a fifth. That's just the structure of the 1-3-5 harmony. Okay. If you are able to memorize now, to better have an understanding of this, you need to memorize the intervals, how they sound, how they relate. You need to memorize it. Do, mi, so. Now, if you're able to memorize this interval, when you are listening to the song, you can easily detect, okay, this is the part that is doing so, this is the part that is singing on mi, this is the part that is singing on do. Remember, the highest part goes to soprano, followed by alto and tenors at the bass. Bass not as in bass, but at the lowest ebb of the structure of the harmony. Do, mi, so, right? So you need to memorize this interval. Do, mi, so, do, mi, so, do, mi, so, right? So you need to know how it sounds. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, let me see if I can look for another song. I'll be here worshiping all of the days of my life. I'll be here worshiping all of the days of my life. Do, I'll be here. Mi, so, I'll be here. That's the note. So this one now, the melody of this song begins on the mi. Mi, so, I'll be here. Now remember, I told you once the melody began on the third, harmonies will be built below and above. There are other ways to do it, and it's called inversions, but I'm not teaching that now. Mi, so, I'll be here. So if to build my first, to get my first harmony, I just move to my fifth. Mi, so, I'll be here. Mi, so, do, mi, which is my 1. I'll be here, I'll be here, I'll be here. Very simple, right? If you are able to master the interval, that was like I said in the beginning when I started, master the interval and also know the first note of the melody line. This would be as simple as reciting the alphabets. Okay, so that is how much I can take for today. Now there's a way you can go about this. Okay, but it's called the inversions, right? If my song begin on a mi, I can build my harmonies here and here, here and here, or here and here, or here and here, depending on the structure I'm going to use. Okay. Now, this song "Heavy Praise." Okay, it's not in "Heavy Praise" where they swap the. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that till next time, where we'll talk about inversions of the thirds. Okay. Right. So this is how far I can take. Make sure you subscribe to this channel after watching. And if you are confused, please drop your questions in the comments section and I will cater to them. I am the one and only Obakare. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.